Gamescom 2026. The biggest video game convention in the world is back, and IGN is bringing you every second of it live from the Gamescom show floor. Tune in for new looks at the coolest new games from studios like Nintendo,
Have begun!
Xbox, Square Enix, Sega, plus so much more. IGN's live coverage of Gamescom 2026 starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Gamescom Studio 2026 here on IGN. I'm Damon Hatfield. Joining me today are Jane Douglas and Max Scoville.
Gamescom officially kicked off with opening night live, but that was just the beginning. We've got a huge show planned this year with tons of coverage rolling out over the next 5 days.
That's right. We'll have tons of gameplay, trailers, and developer deep dives, plus the Gamescom Awesome Indie Show 2026 happening Thursday night, and the Gamescom Award Show happening on Saturday.
If you want a great way of keeping track of the games you're most excited for, scan the QR code on the screen to check out the Gamescom Steam event, where you can wishlist any of the games being shown off.
Now let's see what's going on out on the Spotlight stage.
Hey, Jim here. I'm on the show floor checking out this beautiful Mercedes-AMG GT Coupe, which probably costs more than my house. I've also been looking at the Witcher 3 Songs of the Past DLC. There's new Mega Man. There's loads of cool new stuff. But before all that, let's have a look at the new stuff coming to Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to make people laugh. Sometimes you really have to hit them over the head with a punchline. Enough about me. Let's talk about you, Dr. Harleen Quinzel!
Call me Holly.
You like breaking the rules, don't you?
Ready, Mr. J?
Catch that clown!
Come on, Mr. J. Let's have some fun.
Task Force X. We've got trouble coming our way.
Earlier this year, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight mashed up some of the Caped Crusaders' most iconic appearances to tell a whole new story. And next month, the Clown Prince of Crime is getting his turn in the spotlight. Here to tell us all about the all-new Mayhem Collection DLC, please welcome Tim Spencer and Chris Payne from TT Games.
Hi. Thank you very much.
Why so serious? Let's talk about this. So this is Joker and Harley DLC. There's a story mission. There's new Mayhem mode DLC. Can you just give us the rundown about what we're going to be doing here?
Yeah, so September the 18th, that's when everything comes out. As part of the deluxe edition for the game, we have a Mayhem mode as part of Mayhem Collection. So as part of that, you get a whole new story mission featuring Joker and Harley breaking out of Arkham Asylum. And then once they're out and about, they're trying to make their mark on the city. So you get this Mayhem mode as well that you get to play with. On top of that, you also will get a Sinister Pack, which is a collection of new outfits, props for your Batcave, and a new vehicle to play in the base game as well.
Nice. Now, I feel like the base game was very, very Arkham coded. Like it was. You wore those on your sleeve. It was very much, that experience. This feels kind of more akin to what we've seen from like older Lego games. It feels more kind of like you can steal cars. It looks like it's kind of looks a little more chaotic. Tell us about what is Mayhem mode exactly?
So within the mode itself, you'll have a limited amount of time to cause as much chaos as possible. Your main objective will be to complete builds around the city that will leave a lasting impression. So you want to make sure everyone knows the city belongs to Joker and Harley. You'll see the city evolve over time, so Joker and Harley signals in the air, fireworks, all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, it is that sense of chaotic Lego gameplay and play within the Mayhem. So yeah, that using the villainous play within a fun setting, so not too sinister, but just the right amount.
I think from a gameplay point of view, when you talk about the base game, Batman, the Bat family, those characters have always been very athletic, agile. They've had a ton of gadgets. I mean, when you've got a billionaire funding you tend to get a lot of gadgets. Whereas with the Joker and Harley Quinn, they don't necessarily have that kind of backing. They don't have that kind of style or aesthetic. So when it came to actually looking at the gameplay, we sat down and said, well, yeah, we love the flow combat that we've got in the base game, and we still want to have that as part of what the core is for the combat, but we wanted to update it so it suited the Joker and Harley Quinn more. So their gadgets and abilities are ones that actually lend themselves more to doing sort of ranged combat, more to kind of like hit and run, and also more chaotic, because Joker's got a paintball pelter, Harley Quinn's got a confetti fun gun and a bubblegum gun, and she also has her hyenas, Bud and Lou. The Joker's got his extendable boxing glove. So we looked at kind of the gameplay abilities and went, yeah, we can't just take what Batman does and stick it on these characters. We need to make this unique for them.
And they don't just do it all themselves either. We've replaced the takedowns from the base game. They made a lot of sense for Batman and the Bat family, but for this, we've got instead the crew system. So you'll be able to recruit new Arkham inmates from your escape in Arkham and create a team to do your bidding for you, because it feels very Joker themed.
I'm into this. I love this. My question was going to be like, what can Joker and Harley do that Batman and family don't besides murder? But that sounds like quite a lot. How do the hyenas work? Do they just kind of? What do they do?
So, I mean, when you actually spawn them, as it were, Harley calls them in. You can actually control them, so you can get through different areas with them. You can activate different things with them, and you can use them in combat as well. So they're just part of Harley's ability set.
Use them to open up some locked shops, to do a bit of looting.
Nice.
Now, some gems.
You guys are not shy about references and Easter eggs and all that. With the base game, obviously it was pulling from a lot of Batman appearances. There's a lot of Batman media, but Batman has a lot more on-screen appearances than Joker does. What were you kind of drawing from for Joker and Harley the most? Like, what were you kind of looking at for the story beats?
Definitely heavily influenced by the animated series. The intro cutscene is actually shot in 4:3. We wanted to create that feel of the animated series, but we've pulled from all sorts. We've got lots of comic references, some iconic costumes from the comics. We've got the Cesar Romero 66 suit. We've got the Absolute suit for Harley Quinn, I believe.
Was that the Dark Knight Returns, the white one in there too? Was that what I saw?
Yes.
Love it. Now we also get a glimpse of a bunch of other, kind of larger DC universe characters showing up. What's their role here?
So yeah, while you're out on these kind of time-limited runs in the city, causing mayhem, about 5 minutes into any run, well, Amanda Waller is aware that you have broken out of Arkham Asylum. So, of course, she's going to send in Task Force X. So at that point, we have 12 different Task Force X members in there. A random selection of 4 will arrive to try and stop you, and they will hunt you down in the city. And I think one of the great things about it is because we've got 12 characters and each time they spawn, it's a random 4. Their kind of configuration, their abilities, the things that you're facing changes each and every single time. So we're trying to make sure that we, get that broader scope of the kind of world of Batman and the other characters coming in there as well.
Okay.
And it's kind of fun to be villains facing off anti-villains, I guess.
Yeah, no, something just clicked for me. Like, you've got a Mayhem meter, you're running around causing chaos. It almost reminds me of some other open world game where you have a wanted level that goes up, and then maybe you do enough damage and, high-powered, law enforcement agencies show up. Is it at all inspired by that?
No comment?
No, I mean, I think the way that we designed this mode, we knew that, okay, Joker and Harley are going to be out in the city causing chaos. The Cape Crusader, he's going to be like, well, hang on a minute, I'm getting calls that they're up there. So we knew that there was always going to be, Batman and Robin were going to turn up and be chasing you down at some point. So that's why we limited the time on it, because we knew there was going to be a point where Batman and Robin show up to come and try and defeat you. You can actually extract early as well to kind of keep all of the loot that you've got so far. But you've got Argus, who are out there as well as part of Amanda Waller's team. You've got Roadblocks there, you've got these characters patrolling around, so you're fighting them, as well as trying to sort of rescue other inmates at the same time. So really we were just looking to how much mayhem can we add in there? And when you combine it with driving vehicles and the crew that you can spawn instead of the takedowns, you can have up to 5 crewmates as well per character, so you can have 10 extra characters there with you.
Oh, wow, okay.
Plus fighting all of Argus, plus you're, being Joker and Harley yourself. It was not inspired by that, but we just looked really, the direction was looking at how much mayhem can we cause, how much can we push it.
Well, I feel like that's such a core principle of just open world games in general. There's always that urge to be like, I can go anywhere, I can do anything. Well, I'm going to do bad stuff. And that definitely is suited better to a criminal than the superhero.
It fits with Lego. You're always smashing stuff, you're always breaking stuff, and it's that sort of whimsical sense of mayhem that we're trying to capture.
That's super fun. As far as vehicles go, obviously the Bat family, they got the Batmobile, the Bat Cave. What's the clown version of that?
So you're able to actually steal vehicles about the city, and you're rewarded for doing so. There's a whole bunch of different fun vehicles. So you got ice cream vans, fire trucks, but also every now and again you might see a hero vehicle out there. So you might see a Batmobile or the Nightwing's wing cycle, for example, and be able to hijack that if they're out on a mission. So
rather than being able to spawn vehicles like Batman, again, Batman, he's got the technology to call in his car whenever he wants. Joker and Harley don't have that. So one of the power-ups that they can get, a piece of equipment, is the skeleton key, which allows them to then access any vehicle that's there. So you see a vehicle, you can go and take it and smash through objects and earn more studs and earn more time. So
I love it. There's so much chaos. That sounds like a very good time. Now we got a little more time here. I want to talk about the Switch 2 version. Are there any Switch 2 specific features that you've added?
Not specifically, no.
It's just been working on making sure it runs as clean as possible, and we've got it to a point where we're really happy with it. On top of that, we do have a feature for all systems that will be a free update. So we're introducing the Absolute mode, which is a new difficulty setting, one higher than our current highest. So you'll be limited to just a single life before you'll hit a reset and have to restart an encounter. But on top of that, we've done a bunch of different stuff to make the combat itself more difficult. So we've removed things like prompts for when to counter, when to dodge. You're going to have to read enemy signals as you're playing and really pay attention to the environment around you.
Yeah, we heard the fans.
Okay.
Because on every bit of social media out there was a lot of people saying, I've played the game on the highest difficulty, I want it harder. So as we were doing the work for the expansion, and we were sat there going, look, do we have space to put this in? And we were like, we really want to do this. So we managed to beg, borrow, and steal people, and we got this new absolute difficulty mode in there. And as Chris says, a lot of the kind of markers, a lot of the tells, say when brutes are going to charge at you, previously you'd have a sort of line that would tell you what's coming. That's completely gone now. So you're having to look at the animations, at where things are. Every encounter you get to, you need to be looking at your spatial awareness, what enemies are where, which ones are attacking when, and really make a kind of like conscious choice of, I need to plan this out, how to do this. And it just makes every single encounter in the game so much more engaging and really present with that. And this is a completely free update that's coming to every single platform in the base game. You don't have to buy the deluxe edition.
Although it works really well with the DLC.
Yeah.
Mayhem runs themselves. If you lose your last life in that ends the run. So it creates this real feeling of tension. You got to not just be watching your timer for the run, but also watching your health constantly.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, the deluxe edition on Switch comes with a really cool little thing. It's a minifig of Batman in the old NES Sunsoft outfit, right? Did you bring one? You brought one?
Yeah.
Oh!
Here,
Okay,
so
I want to know.
you can have that. That's yours.
Thank you. That is so sweet of you. This is, I think, really cool. I want to know how this came together. Like, who did you have to call for this? Like, is it?
I mean, that's probably a question for the marketing team and Lego, really. But no, I mean, we on the development side, obviously, we saw that was going to be a pre-order for the Switch 2 version. And as soon as I saw that, showing my age here now, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's just nostalgia for me. I need to have
Definitely
that.
a personal favorite suit within the game.
You're like, we need to make the game as difficult as the Sunsoft one. We got to put it in absolute difficulty version. This is so cool. Thank you so much for this, but also for coming by and chatting about this game.
No worries.
The Mayhem Collection DLC drops September 18th, the same day that Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight hits Nintendo Switch 2. If you get the deluxe version, it's got a really cool minifig. But right now, there's more.
List features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn.
Plus, awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
Plus, ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more.
This will come in handy.
Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys.
Wow! Exactly.
Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
What's up, everybody? Nick and Jim here with IGN at Gamescom 2026. Jim, you just saw the new Witcher 3 DLC. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, it's DLC for an 11-year-old game, which I don't know, 2 years ago would have sounded absurd, but now all bets are off. No, it's incredible. We were shown like an hour of a hands-off demo, a live demo, but hands-off. There was like a lot of us in a sort of cinema looking at it. I was sat next to Doug Cockle, who was like very proudly watching his own work, and I do that, so I get it.
We all do it.
But yeah, no, it's great. And the one thing I thought was really interesting about it was this feels substantial in a way that you maybe wouldn't expect. Because like Ubisoft have done late game DLC
and it's like an hour or two.
It's like it's literally just there to facilitate, like the one they did with Odyssey, just to facilitate a crossover with Valhalla.
Somebody else.
So I think you'd be forgiven for expecting that sort of thing, but no, this is like a full expansion. And in the demo, they focused, which I thought was surprising, they focused a lot on a really quite a long sort of 5-10 minute dialogue scene, all in one location, very theatrical, very lavish sort of manor house, which is the ancestral home of Jaskier, of Dandelion, and people have been speculating online about whether or not this DLC is all going to be about Dandelion.
You could kind of guess that because Songs of the Past,
well, yes, of course,
it would make sense.
That Songs of the Past is his entire deal, so but yeah, so it's all about him and finding him. He's gone missing, and his family dynamic. But there's a lot of intimate sort of family drama moments.
Okay.
Beautifully motion captured in a way that felt like a real step above the original sort of, this is hanging off the bones of a PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah.
You could see the sort of the old kind of Red Engine kind of creaking under all that a little bit. It still looks like a PS4 game that's been tarted up.
Yeah.
But it's all really beautiful, intricate work, and I thought it was a real statement of intent for them to show us start off with a really quiet sort of scene. But so it's really bold. That was a real statement of intent from them. But the place where the demo actually started was Geralt waking up after a night out on the Lash,
as Geralt does.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a real hangover start to this.
Yeah.
He's had a dream about a well. I imagine he dreams about wells a lot, and Jaskier's gone, and that's the start of it. Now, he spies somebody playing Dandelion's lute.
Okay.
His really iconic sort of, Willie Nelson lute, right?
Yeah.
And he knows that that's not Dandelion playing it. So the first interaction you have is Geralt going over and sort of accosting this guy and saying, "Where did you get that?" And it all leads to a fight, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really funny that the guy very gently puts the lute down before starting the fight with you, which is like a real lovely moment of humor.
So as you mentioned combat, did you see any of the new improved combat? Did it seem improved?
No, not really. I mean, we did see combat, and I think that had the enhancements in there. But what was shown felt very familiar.
Okay.
They did talk a little bit about the enhancements that are coming before this DLC hits. So we're getting an enhanced PS5 Pro version. They talked about enhanced ray tracing and stuff like that. So it's all going to look lovely, and it's all a way to kind of bring us back into this Witcher 3 world.
Yeah.
Ahead of Witcher 4, obviously. So it's like they're stepping it up, introduce us back to a much more lovely looking version of the original game, and then new content, and then which I imagine is going to in some way lead to The Witcher 4. But
it has to. It'd be strange if it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. But if it does link, they've been very coy about that. They haven't said how it does, but I imagine there's going to be something in there.
Didn't say I was afraid.
So speaking of linking, at the end of Blood and Wine, it really seemed like it was kind of the end of Geralt's story. He was retiring in a vineyard like we all would love to do. Where does it seem like this takes place in the story?
They seem to be, it's very vague where it sits in the timeline, in the same way that I think the previous Blood and Wine expansion was.
Yeah.
It's quite similar to Blood and Wine in a couple of ways. It's got a very similar color palette, and it's set in a place that is far away from all the conflict. So it's a bit more rustic and a bit less fairy tale than Toussaint. It's more sort of old world. It's a bit more gnarly, but it's there's no kind of soldiers walking around. There's no sort of battlefield strewn with blood and mud. It's a bit more, I guess it's a bit nicer than most of the locales in the original game. But as to where it sits in the timeline,
who knows?
Who knows?
Somewhere.
Unless I missed it. I don't.
Okay, so let's talk about the visuals, because this is a new Witcher game, a new expansion on a very old Witcher game. Clearly, it's running on it's PS4 tech. It's it's not next gen. It's previous gen by a bit. Did you see the ray tracing? Did it look better than what you're used to seeing? How did it look?
I would say it's a real last sort of outing for the Red Engine, right? And it's a real last hurrah for that. In a way, it kind of undermines them a little bit because it still looks beautiful, and it's still like I played the current version of Witcher 3 on Pro before I came out here just to see, get back into the sort of thinking of it. And it still looks beautiful. It's still like that game has really kept up with the times in terms of tech. But, and you can tell that it's a PS4 game. Like whatever you do to it, you can't really hide the fact that it was made at a certain point in time.
Yeah.
So I think what it shows is that it's a beautifully scalable engine, and like they are tech wizards over at CD Projekt, but it does also show that them switching to a new engine, I know it's controversial what they've switched to, but aside from that, I think it does show that they needed to switch to something.
Yeah.
Because it is starting to show its age. So, but it still looks beautiful. I don't think that's to its detriment at all. It's still gorgeous. And like I say, the motion capture is noticeably a step up from what it was in the original game. Absolutely.
So it feels like it's just new tech making something better on the old building blocks of The Witcher 3. All right, my last question. Did you see any villains or any monsters? Did you see that guy right there?
Yeah, she turns up right at the end of what we saw.
Okay.
There's some monsters that are unique to this new area, which is cool. Certainly, it's not a remix of stuff that's already in the game.
Yeah.
This is like all new stuff to stab, which is good.
New stuff to stab. That is the quote we're going to pull for this one. Witcher 3, new stuff to stab.
Garden demands blood, so we'll give it blood.
I can't wait to play it. I know you can't wait to play it. I'm sure you can't wait to play it at home. But guess what? There's so much more Gamescom 2026, so stick with IGN.
Do you want to be the very best like no one ever was? Streamline your journey to becoming a master trainer with Planet Pokemon. Choose your Pokemon, filtering by type, stats, or game availability. Then use the full team builder to assemble an unbeatable lineup. Plan out the optimal set of moves, items, and abilities. Plan your dream team today at planetpokemon.com.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN GameScoop.
GameScoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune in to Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Let the kids love what we love.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. You can even track your progress with interactive checklists so you know you reached that 100% completion.
I will not suffer.
IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
The next project from the studio behind the Ascent looks to be jam-packed with all the grimy, futuristic sleaze we expect in a cyberpunk dystopia. Here to tell us about No Law, Torfrick, and Arcade Berg from Neon Giant. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
So this game, looking at it in action, I think it kind of speaks for itself. We should have some gameplay up here in a second, but I want to know what kind of a game it is, because I think people look at it at a glance and they're like, that looks like Cyberpunk 2077, but it looks a little bit more kind of like action-packed. You called it a immersive sim, I believe, but like is it a Deus Ex? Is it a Far Cry? Is it a Bulletstorm? Where does this fall?
Yes. I think we obviously hear all of this, and they're all fantastic games, so we'll take it as a compliment. And obviously we're inspired by everything we play, everything we see, everything we read. But the important thing is that it's its own thing, and that it has its own identity, right? That we bring stuff in from our experience as developers and from everything out there. But yeah, we do say immersive sim because we want that somewhat niche audience catered to. We are part of that and we love it. But we also put in a tremendous amount of effort in making sure that there is something for everyone, and that goes for the action and for the narrative and for the multiple play styles, that you can kind of like choose your own adventure and make it fit to your needs.
Okay. Now, you've got some vets working at the studio who worked on Bulletstorm and Wolfenstein. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now you've got this trailer where everyone's talking about how this protagonist is nice and stealthy, and then he proceeds to kick a door so hard it explodes. Can we expect that kind of like really over the top gunplay in here, but also stealth options? I'm guessing, is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we really wanted to focus on the player agency and their player choice and how to approach any situation. So you can be stealthy, you can pickpocket, sneak around, distract, avoid confrontation as much as humanly possible. But we also wanted to cater to players who want to just go shotgun, kick the door in, shoot everyone in the face. So we wanted to really have that heavy physical feeling for the combat and for the gunplay, and also for the main character, who is quite a hefty dude, and that needed to be reflected in how you play the game. When you kick, it's a proper kick. You kick people flying off rooftops. You kick doors open. We wanted to have that very physical feeling in everything you do.
Nice. You dropped a trailer at Unreal Fest that is full of cool stuff to look at, but the most replayed segment of that on YouTube is a part where he shoots a guy so hard that he just explodes into electricity and goo. Can you tell me a little bit about the arsenal in this game and like what kind of weaponry we're going to be having?
Yeah, I know exactly which bit you mean. I actually haven't checked which is the most popular one. But
it's like a full-on spike right
yeah,
there. People really like seeing that
yes,
shot.
and I'm sure a lot of our fans from the Ascent would recognize it, because we carried some of those things we liked from previous game just with us. They're ours. We can do whatever we want with it, and that would be the stasis, which just puts them in a state of floating, and if you fill them with enough lead during that time, they will just overcharge and explode. That can create a chain reaction. And that kind of goes into what Tor was talking about as well with the action and the heft and physicality, is that we always do a bit more tongue-in-cheek, and we see violence as a spectacle. We don't do angst and depression. Obviously, it's a violent world, and a lot of horrible things happen in it, but a world can still be inhabited by people that laugh and have a coffee, and we want violence to be an everyday thing. And we look at a lot of 80s references, 90s references. There's a lot of like RoboCop and Dread and Death Wish and that kind of attitude, and that goes for the main character as well. It's like, hey, if Arnold and Sylvester Stallone can sneak, this guy can sneak. Yeah, and we're not afraid to go over the top either, both in terms of the visuals, but we're also not afraid to be a little bit unbalanced, to have a power fantasy. We want this to be a power fantasy. We want, big explosions, big, cyberpunk piñatas. Like we want that, if you kick a door hard enough, it will fly off its hinges, and and it will splinter on people, throw them. Like, we want that kind of over the top, feeling as much as possible.
I love it. Now, people, Cyberpunk 2077, huge game. Obviously, it's some kind of an influence here, but Cyberpunk's also a genre that's been around for like 50 years.
Thank you for saying that.
I will happily say that. I'm a big William Gibson fan, Neil Stephenson, all those guys. I'm curious, what are some other Cyberpunk influences that you pulled from, aside from like blending 80s action? RoboCop is technically Cyberpunk. What's some of the other Cyberpunk media you're drawing from?
I mean, throughout the team, I think we pretty much have it covered. It's everything from, movies, books, comic books,
Anime, I mean, obviously, you know, we have Ghost in the Shell, Neuromancer, Gibson, those books, but also comics, Judge Dredd. I mean, we love Judge Dredd, for example. And we really, you know, but we want to embrace.
You've got a great idea. GoDaddy has the perfect domain name to go with it. It only takes a few minutes to register one with over 500 extensions to choose from. Take your idea online today.
Stand out in the job market with the new Google AI Professional Certificate. Master effective prompting and responsible AI use. Partner with AI to transform your research, communications, and more.
We call it neon sleaze. You know, it's in a more Mediterranean climate. It's warm. People wear, you know, short-sleeved shirts. It's very much its own thing, right? And I think the language which they use with when they speak, we have a thing we call huntism as well. There's a lot of colloquialism in the way they communicate. And when we've been sending the game out for playtests, etc., like that's something that always comes back and scores well in the tests, in that there's definitely something, there's an identity here, there's something special, and we really look forward to being able to show more. We're so happy to have finally shown more gameplay, but we're happy to show more, you know, moving on, so that people really get what makes NOLA NOLA.
Now, I want to talk about the setting. This is open world, is that correct?
Yes.
And you've talked about how you want it to be more about density than just sheer scale. I believe the thing you said was that any frame of this game has more objects in it than the entirety of the Ascent. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's absolutely bonkers, and it shows. What's crazy though is I think you know the Ascent was your first big Cyberpunk game, and looking at these two games side by side, aesthetically similar. But I don't think what some people realize is that, like, if you unlock the camera and zoom in, that game is just as visually dense as this. There's so much stuff in here. There's so many little tiny details, and I'm excited to just actually get up close to them. Is there like a specific detail in this game, like an object, a piece of garbage, literally anything that you're particularly proud of that you want to just kind of point people towards?
I think one of the things we really hope people enjoy is how much attention and love that went into just creating all the little stickers and advertising and products. So, you know, we've shown some clips, you know, when we blow up this guy in a convenience store, every single product has, you know, a full-on description of the ingredients, and you can zoom
nutritional facts.
Yeah, well, nutritional misinformation, but it's just full of, you know, jokes and puns and, you know, lore. And we really hope that people who enjoy that sort of thing will just go and just, you know, photo mode and just zoom in and just look at every single thing, because with this kind of fidelity, you can go and read every single sticker. You can scan the QR codes, like all of it.
And this is handcrafted, yeah?
Yes, all of it. And this is also where we made a deliberate option when we're talking about cyberpunk, because obviously a lot of cyberpunk fiction that we also love often comes with a lot of Asian influence, be that Japanese or Korean or Chinese, right? And whilst we also, you know, really enjoy those cultures, and, you know, we go there and all of that stuff. For me, who don't read those languages, being in Seoul, for example, it's Asian. It's one flavor, right? It's one impression on me, and I love it, and it's exciting. But we decided early on that everything in the game world is in English. So for, you know, our main audience, you can stop anywhere in the world and read every single sign, read any single you know, product information, the nutritional facts, right? So that you can set the pace in your own accord and really get into it. You can read the street signs, you can read the building signs, you can read the lost puppy signs.
Yeah.
Everything is handcrafted with love, and you can pause and really soak that in.
Yeah, every building has an address, all the streets correspond. You can navigate through the street signs, through the addresses on the buildings.
Yes, I love that. That's what turn off the HUD and actually
so
find your way around.
We will actually have a mode. It's not the default mode, but you can opt in to play more in an immersive mode where we turn off like the helpers and the markers, and if they give you an address, you gotta find the address and you'll follow the street signs.
I love that.
And that is opt-in, right? Because we understand that that's not for everyone. And we do that a lot. Same thing like with the story. The main story is very easy to get into, and if you just want to do a shotgun to the face, that's fine. But if you want to play a bit more detective and really get immersed, there's so many characters to talk to and stuff to read, and that's for you to want instead of us saying, and you gotta read this.
Now, we got a little glimpse of, in between the constant murder, we got a little bit of some bonsai trimming in there. What other activities are we going to have in addition to just combat and stealth and all that?
I mean, there's obviously secrets and stuff to collect in the city, and the very first thing that happens in the game, and I don't think it's a spoiler if it is literally the first thing that happens, is that you are attacked and your home is wrecked, right? So there's a lot of like rebuilding that. There are characters to talk to for the story elements, and you can not only shoot them, you can also kick them in the face.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
But we also focus a lot on the exploration, and once again, like Arcade said, that's opt-in, right? Like if you are just gonna blaze through the main story, kick in the front door, shotgun, let's go. You can do that. But for people who really want to just, explore the city, explore, the apartments, the people who live there. There's a lot for players to discover. Just moving through the city and just getting distracted.
And of course, it's the RPG layer as well of character customization, abilities, skills. Gear, equipment, like all of that. It's always the gardener, Greyhawker the gardener, but it's you're the gardener.
Okay.
So we make sure that he never makes any decisions for you in a cutscene. It's always you making the decisions. So it's your gardener.
Okay. Now, you mentioned, open world RPG. I think some people jump to the expectation it's going to be like 120 hours. But you also say you can blaze through the story. How big of a game are we looking at in terms of playtime? If you're mainlining it versus taking your time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the challenges is that the difference between if you're blazing through it and if you're taking your time, there's going to be a huge difference. We're not telling you how to play through the game.
Okay.
So you can actually, I think this is a game where people will find ways to speedrun this game because it's all driven by systems.
Yeah, you can beat Skyrim in 6 hours, but no one has ever done that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like you get lost. That's the whole thing.
And, this is a similar thing. Not that it's the size of Skyrim, but it's like you can get lost. You can spend a lot of time. You can spend 100 hours doing stuff in the game if you just take your time and you really want to explore things, and especially if you're going to go and read all the stickers in the grocery stores. So it's very hard for us to put a time on, like we don't know what the average playtime will be yet.
Okay.
But it's significant.
Okay. So it's a chunky game with a chunky protagonist.
Chunky boy, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I honestly wish we had more time to talk about this. I'm dying to hear more. Thank you so much for coming and chatting about this. No Law hits Xbox Series, PS5, and PC sometime in 2027, but right now there's more Gamescom Studio 2026 coming right up.
Every UX decision you make either earns money or silently loses it. Do you know which one you're doing?